Welcome to a Digital Diamond baseball video on creating a library with the most current statistics for the current baseball season. In this particular case, it's the 2011 season. The first step you want to do is browse to the import folder inside your Digital Diamond baseball installation folder. Inside the import folder, you'll see three folders: Baseball Reference, Layman, and Zips. What you want to do here is create a new folder in order to store your statistics. I'm going to create my new folder here, and I'm just going to call it the 2012 folder. Once you have your folder created, you're ready to go and get your statistics from the web. Seasons from several different sources on the web, but the easiest is baseballreference.com. Go to the website, click on the Seasons tab, and then go to All Major Leagues Batting. It takes a little while for the page to load. Actually, we've got to go to 2012, and then it takes a little while for the page to load as we wait for the entire batting seasons, entire batting stats for the current season to load. If you scroll down, you'll see a player standard batting section. What you want to click on is Share, and that takes a little while as well, again, because there's a lot of data here for a lot of players. And you now get an editable table of all the players in the 2012 season, at least their batting statistics. The game only needs some of these statistics, so you can use the red X along the top row here to get rid of the stats you don't need. We don't need the rank stat. We don't need the age. We don't need the league or plate appearances. We're going to keep at bats, runs, hits, doubles, triples, home runs. We don't need RBIs. We'll keep stolen bases, caught stealing, walks, strikeouts. We don't need batting average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, on-base plus, total bases. Don't need any of these. We'll go all the way up to sacrifice hits and position. So these are the only fields you need, so you want to get rid of all the other columns. Full name, team, game, at-bats, runs, all the way to position summary. Once you have it set up this way, click on comma separated. This gives you all of the players' stats in a way that can be easily copied with Control-A, Control-C. I now have them on my clipboard, and I can paste them into a text editor. Notepad works great on Windows, and in Mac I just use their plain old text edit. And now I can use Control-V to paste the players into the file. I'm going to delete everything from at the very bottom of the file, everything from this title column here all the way down to the end. So it ends with a player's name, in this case Ben Zobrist. Once I have all that data pasted in, I can save this to the folder that I created earlier called 2012. So here I am in my Digital Diamond folder, import, and here's the 2012 folder that we created at the beginning of the video. And I'm just going to call this 2012 batting and click on save. That's it. I now have the batting information saved, and I'm ready to do the same thing for pitchers. For pitching, you want to click on the pitching button here on Baseball Reference and choose Standard Pitching. This takes a little while to load because there are a lot of pitchers, but once it's complete, you should be able to scroll down to the Standard Pitching tab and click on Share. This takes a second to come up, and once it does, you're now ready to eliminate the columns that Digital Diamond Baseball doesn't need. Once again, we can get rid of rank and age, and we go all the way to just games, game starts, saves, inning pitched, hits, runs, earned runs, home runs, walks, and strikeouts. These are the only columns we need for pitching. Once again, we click on the comma separated button and do a Control-A to copy to select everything, and a Control-C to copy it to the clipboard. We then bring up an empty text editor again and do a Control V to paste the names in and delete everything from the last pitcher all the way to the end of the file. We now have all the pitching information and we're ready to save this in that same 2012 folder we created earlier. I'm saving the file and I'm going to call it 2012 Pitchers. And I save that in the same place I saved my 2012 batting. That's all you need at a bare minimum, but most people like to import fielding statistics as well. Get the fielding statistics, go back to Baseball Reference, and choose Fielding for Pitchers. We're going to have to do what I'm about to do for every position. We'll start with pitching. Once the page loads, you can scroll down to the Player Standard Fielding Pitching. Player Standard Fielding for Pitchers. Click on Share, and this will take a second to load, and you're now ready to eliminate the columns you don't need. You don't need many columns for the fielding statistics. It essentially boils down to the full name, the team they play on, the number of chances, right there, and the number of errors, right there. You can delete the rest. These are the only fields you need for every position in the game. This one happens to be for pitching. Click on Comma Separated, Control A to select everything, Control C to copy it, and you're ready to paste it into a new text file. Here's my new text file, and I use Control V to paste, and once again delete everything from the last player in the file to the end. I'm now ready to save this again in the same folder. So here I am getting ready to save it, and this time I'm going to save it as Fielding P for pitcher. I now have the batting stats, the pitching stats, and the fielding stats for the pitcher. All I need to do now is repeat what I just did here for the remaining positions: catcher, first base, second, third, short, left, center, and right. Once I've done that, I'm ready for the import. Rather than do that in this video, I'm going to pause and get the remaining fielding positions done, and then I'll show you how to do the import. Finished creating those import files. As you can see, I have a batting one, a pitcher's one, and a fielding one for all of the positions. Now I'm ready to create a new library and import these data into the library. To create a new library, just choose the Library, Create a New Library menu item, and I'll call this my 2012 library. Once the library is created, you want to go up to the Library menu item and choose Import Players from CSV Files. This is where I specify the files I just created. First thing you have to do is specify the import file formats, which is located in your input folder inside Baseball Reference. You can see there's one here called Baseball Reference Batting Format, and I'll choose that for my batting layout. I'll do the same thing but choose the pitching format for my pitching layout and the fielding format for the fielding layout. Be careful not to pick the ones for the minor leagues. Now I'm ready to pick my import files. For batting, I want to go into my 2012 folder and choose 2012 batting. For pitching, I want to choose 2012 pitchers. And for each of the fielding positions, I want to choose the appropriate fielding file. Okay, I have all the fielding files specified. The last step is to put in the year that you're importing. In this case, it's 2012, and then just click on the Import button. Currently, it's importing the batting stats, then it'll do the pitching, then it'll do the fielding. I'm going to pause and come back when it's done. It only takes about a minute. Okay, we're wrapping up here with the last few fielding stats, and we'll have our library done. Once it's finished, come in and you'll see all the players for 2012 are now in the library and in the right teams. The next step is to create your organizations by clicking on the Organization tab and start adding the teams you need to for the appropriate divisions. You can use a Control-click to pick just to select more than one team at a time. For example, I could add Atlanta and New York to the east, continuing doing this until all of your divisions are populated. I now have all of my divisions populated, and I'm just about ready to start playing with the library. I should note that you only have to do the divisions once. All successive imports in this library, the divisions will remain intact. The step is to import your schedule, and this is done by going to the Play tab and then going to Season, Create New Season. You can now import your schedule by clicking Import and browsing to your Schedules folder in Digital Diamond Baseball and selecting the 2012 schedule, which comes with the game. You then click on OK, and the software will try and map up the players appropriately with what's in the schedule. So Seattle maps to 2012 Seattle. Oakland maps to 2012 Oakland. St. Louis SLN maps to 2012 STL. Keep doing these matchings until you've imported the entire schedule. Okay, the schedule just finished importing for me, and in a second we'll see the entire 2012 schedule in our game. At this point you're ready to play. A couple other things you may want to do is go to the team profiles and select Generate Teams. This will generate team profiles for all of the teams in your library. This is always a good idea to do, just to make sure that the computer manager has some guidelines about how to manage your team. A couple quick comments. First, this library at 2012 or the current season is usually posted on the customer library site, so you don't have to do this. You usually can go and download a recent one from the site. But if you want to do this like weekly, then you can do it on your own the way I just showed. The next thing is you don't have to do the schedule or the organizations every time. You only have to do the statistics. Once the schedule and the organization has been created, each subsequent import will reuse that same schedule. And as you subsequently import each week new stats, players will be updated, but your season remains intact. So you can actually play out the entire 2012 season using current stats that are updated weekly from the web. If you have any questions, let us know. We'll be very happy to help you with the import at any time. Enjoy!